Hi there, folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. We are going to be doing some things with Big Mo today. That cat scared the crap out of me. And you guys can't see it, but their chills just went down my spine. We're going to load up some logs. You guys saw us a few 4, 5, 6, 8 episodes ago. We actually cut down some walnut trees. Well, K6 Outdoors has a buddy that has a sawmill, and he was interested in the wood, and he asked me what I wanted for it. I said, oh, it'd be neat if I could just get a couple slabs of the walnut. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, because I'm not a woodworker per se. I can do things with wood. I just don't, I'm not building cabinets and stuff like that. Well, this guy does a lot of woodworking type things. That's why he has a sawmill. And he'll probably sell them, make some money. So let's get out here on Big Mo, and I'm gonna clean that glass up today on the front because it got rained on, sprinkled on while it was dusty, and just made an absolute mess out of things. So we're gonna clean some glass up so I can see what I'm doing. Even though when you're on the inside, you can see pretty good, but why not make it better? Okay. Let's check some fluids here. Haven't done that for a minute. Let's just see how it's looking. We'll get the old, I gotta grease it too. Oh yeah, she's still plumb full. And don't worry about the color. Just changed it a couple hours ago. When I say hours, operating hours, not physical hours. So we got this thing, ever since I changed the oil from when I got it, and then I changed the oil and ran hours on it, it doesn't use any oil. How are we doing on? Oh yeah, we got a pretty full tank of fuel. We want to check that every time now. And let's take a look here at the hydraulic oil. This thing has gotten nasty. This was all spotless when I put it back together, but the dust and the way it breathes, and that's still up. It's past the full mark a little bit, and I always like to look in here on the radiator and get some light shining down there, and it's right there full to the top of the radiator, so that's good, because that'll do everything it needs to do to keep her cool. Now I don't know about the rest of you that have heavy equipment and whatnot, but it's always a great idea to check your fluids, before each use, because you might have had experienced something that was running fine and you hadn't experienced any issues that were possibly happening right before you parked it. And then when you come back and check it, and you go, well, where's all my fluids? She just pops right off and runs like a champ. It's awesome. Alrighty, we got them logs all picked up, which is pretty impressive. I did it in 4 trips. The last log was just a single log, but these are heavy. The first load I grabbed 4 logs, and I actually slid the back tires down the hill because it was so much weight. So now it's time to get the old grease gun out. I'm not going to bore you with that. We're going to grease up this whole thing, and then we'll load these logs up and get after some more stuff throughout the day. Like parking lot. We're going to work on the parking lot some more, but first I want to move this boat and this dry dock to be not here, so I can get this last bit of busted concrete up out of the area and dumped over to my hill. On the property, we've had a total of 1 piece of concrete that actually had rebar in it. And that's this circular pad here that used to have a corn crib on it. And I don't know how much rebar is in it, but we'll find out. I do know that I need to cut some of these pieces apart so I can separate them from one another so I can pick them up. So I got the old handy dandy. That's got a lot of green water in it. We'll get that going. Got the death wheel here. We're gonna sever some of this. Looks like some pretty heavy duty rebar. We just moved some logs yesterday with Big Mo and made it handy for loading up some logs. The gentleman that was going to take these to the sawmill didn't want some of the smaller logs, so to the burn pile they went. I was going to offer it up to a few people for firewood, but I've given them plenty of opportunity to come get it, and they chose not to. So, burn pile it went. Well, folks, hope I captured it. I'm pretty sure I did. I just tripped and fell down against the concrete, scraped my leg up. Nothing could go smooth. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at things and trying to step up to a 2-foot up step there. Well, the property's in a little bit of disarray, to say the least. I mean, I want to show you right here. Obviously, these are the dirt piles that I just moved in the earlier part of the video here. You saw me scooping and moving with the dump truck. I tried a different approach. Aerial view up above us here, looking down. See if this active tracker is going to follow me like I want it to. Unless it loses me. It's got its eyeballs on me, so we'll see. But I was going to come out digging tonight, but it's still too wet. We got a lot of rain about, well, night before last, 2 nights ago. 2 evenings ago. 2 evenings ago. It's still got some damp spots out here, water standing there that I definitely ain't going to drive into. That'll make a muddy mess. Some of this stuff I can definitely still see is soft. I thought this thing was going to follow me. It's keeping me. Ugh, don't step there. But it's funny to see how it got wet and it's already dried and cracked. This top ground right here was just powder. I drove over it so much it turned to powder. And then the rain, a good hard rain, settled everything down, so there's no more powdery dust. But as you can see in this area here, this part I'm in right here was not dug up. And that's what I tried to do, something a little bit different, was to take the backhoe and just concentrate on digging. And I dug all this area out here, and I put it in a pile in my area that already had, let's just call it, flattened out. So when I did that, I was hoping to be more efficient, because I couldn't always scoop full buckets when I was trying to flatten this off, as I will be able to and go in here. I can go in here and dig flat, bucket load after bucket load into that bank. Well, so I got it into a pile, and I thought, then I can get full scoops, put it in the dump truck, take it to the other side of the yard, dump it. So you kind of walked over here in the video to show you the perspective where I dumped it, where I took it from. 1 bucket at a time, back and forth with the backhoe. It was a lot of travel time on the backhoe, and where I could just go short little dumps to the International and dump it in there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Somebody did correct me on my last video on the International. Say I misspoke and said Detroit DT 466. Just DT Detroit just stuck in my head for some reason. But that 466 cubic inch inline 6 diesel is made by Navistar, produced by Navistar, is the manufacturer of it. And they're well known for their durability and longevity and all that fun stuff. It is 300 horsepower as built, over 800 foot-pounds of torque as built. And I needed some of that horsepower and torque when I start taking the dirt up some of these hills around my property here. It gets kind of steep, and I'm having to get the turbo wound up just to put the horsepower to the rear wheels to climb up the hill with the load on it. But it worked beautifully. But as you can see here, we've got a bank dug out right here, and you can see where, now that I'm back here, and the sun I know is right in the camera shot here, but you can see now the amount of crown that I have cut off of this area to make it flat with the front of the lean-to here. There again, like I've been nicknaming this my parking lot. Now this parking lot is going to continue, and it's actually, I'm pretty happy with everything so far. We built a lot of this up. The stump that I had over here, just in this area over here, I ain't going to walk over to it because it'd be a mud bog right there. Looks pretty wet. I can get close, but I'm pointing at it a little closer maybe. But right, where was it? Right over in here, where my head of my shadow's at roughly, was a stump. That was my mark for height, where I wanted to bring it up for height twice. So that's what I did. And then everything else kind of rolls away toward the pond from here. And that was the plan. But as you can see, I could park, it's flat enough right now, the camera doesn't do it justice. It's flat enough right here that I could park any one of my trailers so far on this ground and not have to worry about it rolling off like I do everywhere else. as a continuation, the beginning of the video, you saw me remove the pads that are right here. And those pads were busted, and you know, just like all the other pads right here, busted up and everything. So the plan here is to now kind of give you an idea. There's where those weeds are growing up on that little cliff I've created. This tree right here behind the Jeep is where I want to bring that parking lot over to this area. So there's still a lot of dirt to be moved. And over in this part here, this part of the drive, there's a gate here that can come in, and that all slopes away. And in slippery conditions, let's just call it winter, if you try to drive your 4x4 through here, sometimes, depending on the conditions, it wants to slide toward the woods. My goal is to build this all up so it's more level. It's still going to go downhill from up here all the way down to here. It'll go downhill, but it'll be flat. So if you go to slide, you're just going to slide straight into the parking lot and not off into the woods. That's the game plan. So like where I'm standing right here, you look up at the drone here, straight across to the tree, which I'm not sure is in the, over there, that's in the drone's vision right here. I can walk straight across to it. All this will be down to that level down there when I'm done. So that's why it's handy to use the dump truck to bring piles over to other areas. So from this tree over, it'll transition down a little bit into the lower parking lot. Then my goal is up here where the yard barn's already sitting and the old Cobalt sitting on the pad. Those pads I'm okay with for now. I want to build everything over here. That's why these piles are sitting here. I want to build these piles up out to about the tree line. So I got a little ways to go here. If I go out to the tree line right here, I want to build that pile up here. And keep in mind, from where I'm standing to the top peakity peak of that little pile, I would say is about 5-ish feet tall right there if you were to dig down to the Mother Earth where it started at. So a lot of fill going to go in here to build it up level to this concrete here and level to the bottom of the brick around the shop there. So there again, what I want to end up with primarily, the ultimate goal is a flat area, drop down to another flat area. So I got options. Now this upper flat area will all be seeded and whatnot in grass. It'll be mobile, flat area for family get-togethers and areas for us to participate in activities that need flat ground, like bags, volleyball, and I don't know, lounging. I don't know, just flat area. Right now, everything else has so much not flat to it. Some of the things, when it comes to volleyball and other activities like croquet or something, it's not very advantageous for that. So that's part of the redesign, is to gain parking lot, flat recreational area, and also I'm gaining a ton of excavation experience. And the reason I say that is I'm learning process. How would I dig more efficiently? How would I, yes, the backhoe isn't the right tool for this job. Honestly, an excavator and a bigger dump truck and a bulldozer would all make this job way more efficient. No doubt about it. No doubt about it in my mind. But I'm not trying to get, there's a bee right there. Go away, bee. I'm not trying to be super efficient. I'm going with what's affordable for me and what I can do, which is I can afford that backhoe and that dump truck. And those two things are going to take me a long way into getting my project moving forward. Now, without the backhoe or the dump truck, the property would have stayed as is, no changes and all that fun stuff. But now that I have the tools and I have a viewing audience that's, I think, entertained by some of this stuff, I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride along. I really do. But the ultimate goal here is to get this part of the yard fixed. So down here, I'll point down in this area back here, it drops off a lot. There's a pond down there, or let's call it a was pond. I broke the dam. I haven't started the video series on that yet. I have done some recording. A lot of people, and including myself, like to watch pond rejuvenation and stuff like that. I'm not releasing those parts of those videos yet because I want to get to it when I can work on it and keep bringing you guys updates on the regular instead of, hey, 6 months later, it's covered in weeds, you know, stuff like that. Try to keep it entertaining, but I'm hoping you guys follow along, share, like, subscribe, and enjoy what I'm doing here. It's a lot of work. I've done a lot of sweating out here. I now am bleeding from below the knee because I tripped, but that's just part of the whole process, I guess. Well, it feels good to start seeing the parking lot come together, start seeing some flat ground come together. It looks like a hodgepodge mess when you just part way through it, but now I got the parking lot kind of done that way, and I'm bringing her toward the rest of the building, or toward the house direction, so to speak, toward the south. But now I've got it a good flat area to start from, dig from, move around in. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna go stand back over here real quick. This is a pretty good little knoll here. You won't realize it, but I'm probably gonna dig about 3 to 4 feet off of this area right here just to bring it down. So this is just more flat. And plus all this is gonna be, let's just say this is all parking lot. So it's yes, it's a project. Is Big Mo up for it? I don't know, we'll see. So far it's done well. And all the, let's call it preventive maintenance and work I did this past early spring, February on, has paid off. It has resulted in almost over 50 hours of usage without any breakdown. Knock on wood severely, because who knows what could happen next. We'll keep you posted on what we do to the old International Blue Thunder, and because it's going to need some more airline brake hoses. I want to talk to somebody. If anybody has a lot of experience with the Allison automatic transmission that's behind this thing, there again, it's high mileage, fluid looks good in pink, but should I change the fluid? When should I change the fluid? How often would you change the fluid? And is there filters in there? I've never done one of the automatic transmission in vehicles. I've done several of those, but on a big truck like that, is it similar? Just higher capacity on oils, like this engine that took 5 gallons versus most cars take 4.5 to 5.5 quarts, 6 quarts maybe. Oh well, enough is enough. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey so far. The journey will continue. The saga of things will continue. I've got this whole pile of dirt here that I will be smoothing out and starting to manipulate and drive over and pack down. And got future plans for this area right here. But there again, time, effort, energy, and hopefully a little bit of spare disposable income to help that project along. Alrighty, be good to one another. This is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And I'll see you on the next video if I'm lucky. Be good to one another, folks. Please, please. I'm out.